You are listening to The Dungeon. Thank you for taking a trip down here, and please take a seat. We're going to have a lovely discussion. We're going to be talking about South Park The Stick of Truth. I recently played that game on my channel, and I beat it. And so I'm going to be talking about the game completely off the cuff, no script or anything, all pure 100% me. So yeah. Um, but before I want, ugh, sorry. But before I get started with that, I wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you for those who watched my video talking about my coming out story and all that stuff. It really, really meant a lot to me. Just to hear such a positive reaction to it really just it warms my heart because it was very, very difficult for me to record that. I was kind of shivering a bit. I was really worried about how people were gonna react, and I was just scared for the most part while talking about it. And during 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 that talk, I almost cried because it was such an emotional journey for me, and to see where I am now mentally in comparison to where I was so many years ago, it's just night and day. Like, I'm glad I'm a much better person now. I wouldn't say much better. I still mess up quite a bit as a human being, but when it comes to my comfort and my sexuality, I'm a lot better about it. And I really, really do hope that it helps one of you or the lot of you. Uh, because I know there are people out there that struggle daily about their sexuality and about who they really are as people, and it sucks, but just keep going with your right foot forward, your left foot follows. You know, keep walking that road. You're eventually gonna find that stop, and you're gonna enjoy where you end up. Anyways, enough of that emotional advice, Mr. Rogers esque uh, diatribe, or is it diatribe or just talk? I don't know. Enough of that. Let's get started with the review.
I thought maybe you and I could hang out. I mean, I'm not gonna hurt you. You just go down to the Sugar Shack, get a bread, but not too big.
Okay, first thing I want to just give you guys a heads up on. This is coming from somebody who has not seen an episode of South Park since the Warcraft episode. So my opinion on the game and stuff are based on what I've seen from season 10 or from seasons 1 through 10. I would recommend watch like if you're a fan of this series, watch through the series first before playing this game because there might be some stuff in there that you might not get. That's assuming that you haven't seen it in a while. Me, I haven't, and I kind of wish I had watched through more of the episodes so I would at least understand the references in this game. There are some that I didn't quite get. Um, but upon starting up the game uh and making the character creation is very, very basic. Well, South Park basic. You can put the clothes on your character and give them whatever hairstyle you want and make them any color you want of skin, and that's pretty much it. I I really like creating my characters. Like, I really do go balls deep in character creation. So seeing the limitations, but also understanding that we're talking about South Park here. It's gonna be restricted to the standards of South Park. So I get why they did it. I just hate that they did it because I really love expanding my ideas and just creating so many different things. But that's just one minor complaint I have. When I get to making the character, I'm like immersed already. That's kind of the common word I think would be used. To summarize the game as a whole would be immersive. It's an immersive experience. You pretty much are playing an episode of South Park, and it's really, really fun. It's over the span of like a few days, I think, in game, and I don't know. I really do enjoy the atmosphere of the game, the story. I mean, I enjoy it to an extent. I haven't watched much South Park since season 10, the Warcraft episode. That was like one of the last episodes I really watched. So that is a factor in how I feel on the story, but overall I did enjoy the story. You play as the new kid in South Park, and your goal is to make friends. You end up partaking in this game that's supposed to be like Lord of the Rings inspired, and your mission is to get the Stick of Truth from the elves, which is ran by Kyle and Stan. You're on the side of the wizards. So you have to do like a bunch of trivial tasks like recruit, tweak, Tolkien, Craig, and after that, you end up going to Kyle's fortress, and he's the one that's saying, Cartman's the one that's hiding the Stick of Truth. You need to go after him, and so you gotta go with the goth kids or you gotta recruit the goth kids, and try to pretty much take down Cartman and stuff. And I mean, it was interesting. Then it turns out that Clyde was the one that stole it, and he was using using this green goop stuff that came from the alien ship. Oh yeah, completely spaced out that part. You end up on an alien ship that has this green goop stuff that turns out to be Nazi zombie goop. And when it's put on people, they turn into Nazi zombies, which is an overused cliche that is even referenced in the game. Like, it actually acknowledged it's so overused. I really loved that part, by the way. So anyways, like, after it's revealed that Clyde has the stick and he's been turning people into Nazi zombies, pretty much it's up to you to go after him. You have to recruit the girls, which you're sent off into Canada. And I really loved, that's probably one of my favorite moments of the game. When you go to Canada, it's all 8-bit. It's done like a classic adventure game. And the sound effects are so cool. They 8-bitify pretty much the sound effects on the overworld. And I just loved it. I kind of wish they 8-bit, like, made the characters 8-bit as well. Just a little touch would go a long way. But it really did tickle my nostalgia bone a little too much, if you know what I mean. You go to Canada because you have to recruit the girls, which is Bebe and Wendy. So you're running around in Canada. You have to go from Ottawa to Vancouver to I forgot the other area, but you pretty much have to travel in a bunch of different places of Canada, and then you got to kill the prime minister and get his balls and return him to the minister of Ottawa. Um, one of the prime ministers, and it's you pretty much got to take somebody's balls and give them to a prince. I think that's what it was, prince or minister. I don't remember. Um, anyways, after you do all that stuff, you give the list back to the girls, and it's revealed that one of their friends was a two-timing bitch, which is the whole reason you went there in the first place. And then you end up recruiting him. I keep skipping parts of the story. Right before all that, you have to discover what the heck was going on with the Nazi zombie outbreak, which is how you end up on the ship anyways. That's when you find out that it's not really a Taco Bell they're building. It's pretty much a diversion to nuke the town. You end up at I think there's I'm trying to remember vividly. You end up going to the abortion clinic dressed up as a girl when you're trying to do that whole undercover thing. And I guess it was like an opportunity to kind of figure out what the hell was going on. So you pretend to get a freaking abortion, and oh god, that's probably my least favorite part of the game, when you have to give Randy and that machine the abortion. Did not enjoy that. But after you get the abortion, you don't successfully get it. It ends up being the machine ends up getting fried, and so the doctor leaves. Then you leave and get clothes on to go and look at the records. Then that whole Nazi zombie outbreak happens at the abortion clinic, which ends up getting really huge. Like the abortion clinic ends up like 10 times bigger than what it actually is, which is always interesting. And I just realized I've been going like around in circles. I'm talking like I said, there's no script to this. I'm just going off of what I remember, and if I remember something else, I'll add it into it. Let's see. Yeah, you end up having to give Randy the abortion, and it's not fun for me at all. But after you do that, you go to Canada, and after you mess with Canada, you come back and you end up recruiting the girls to fight alongside you, the wizards and elves, to take on Clyde and his minions of high-tech people. Upon going in there, you take on Craig and his Upon going to Clyde's place, you end up fighting Craig and its Nazi zombie cows, which they're surprisingly easy. Craig was like the hardest part about that, and even then he wasn't that much of a challenge. But after you plow through him, you get to the next area, which is where Mr. Slave is tied up, and I think that's around the time. I'm again basing it off of vivid memory, like what I do remember, I guess. You end up going up Mr. Slave's ass and doing the whole Lemmywinks journey to destroy the Snook, which is the second abortion thing that you have to do, story-wise, at least. I don't know if you have to do it in a side mission. I've not done much of any side missions in that game at all. So, yeah. Anyways, after you disarm the Snook, just travel through Mrs. Slave's ass, you'll fight bacteria, Nazi zombie bacteria. You'll end up fighting Chef. Nazi zombie chef, and I really thought this was in poor taste. That's probably another moment of that game that I really didn't enjoy was seeing Chef come back, and I don't know, like if Isaac Hayes was still alive, I would understand doing that, I guess, or maybe if he contributed more dialogue and all that stuff, but he's not alive, he's dead, and that's just beating a dead horse at that rate, not race. Um, Other than that, though, Zombie Chef was kind of easy because I had that Canadian halberd. I think, or no, maybe I used the vibrate. No, I wasn't at that level yet. Um, no, maybe I was. I don't remember, but it was kind of easy. I think it was based on the weapons that I had. After you do that, the cutscene happens when Cartman fully banishes Clyde from all of space and time and punts him off of his treehouse. I don't know if Clyde made it. Probably did. Um, then they don't have the stick. The old, not the old guy. Well, he is old, but the officer, not officer, the commander, chief, pretty much the old guy, grabs the stick and tries to con the kids into joining him, to or joining him. More specifically, the new kid, because they've been on him for a while. He has the ability to make so many friends so quick, and he's the Dovahkiin, the Dragonborn. That's what he was called, and so the guy wants the kid to join and stuff, and they're just all about the stick. That's pretty much what they were saying, and said, "You're not gonna get us to join." Well, Stan's like, "You're not gonna get us to join," and then Kenny just walks up, it's like, "Oh, okay," and then you have to fight Kenny, which Kenny really was kind of a pain to fight. And then eventually there was after you beat Kenny, Kenny drinks the Nazi zombie juice, which people thought was all destroyed, turns into Nazi zombie Kenny, and tries to pretty much kill the new kid. You'll go through like a bunch of what's that summon moments with the characters until they're all exhausted. And then when it gets to Cartman, which is the last person that you team up with during that boss battle, he goes behind and picks up Kenny and says, "Do it, dude. Fart on Princess Kenny's balls." And then you do, and that's pretty much the game, story-wise. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed, like I said earlier, I enjoyed the story. I just wish that I had gotten to, I guess, watch through the series a bit more before I started playing it, so I can at least understand some more references here and there. Gameplay-wise, it's kind of like Paper Mario. It's timing your attacks and timing your blocks, which I suck at, but that's pretty much like the gist of the combat system. Like I said, I love the immersive world that you travel through, and you go to so many different places in the South Park universe, and even when you're supposed to be in like a set area, like you still don't feel like you have to stay in that set area. You feel like you could just explore more, and I really liked that feeling in that game. I think more games should have that. It's almost, it felt kind of like Skyrim and how open it is. Well, okay, not that open. But it did feel nice to just explore and to just get little hints and references. It's pretty much like the ideal game for South Park. It is definitely like it's something that probably more TV shows should replicate. Uh, like The Simpsons had their own bit, like with not Hit and Run. Was it Hit and Run? Yeah, Hit and Run. Simpsons Hit and Run was another good example where you could travel through the entire Simpsons universe, or at least the entirety of the Simpsons universe at the time. So far, I think the only TV show game that really kind of failed was Family Guy. Hey, Family Guy, you want a good formula? Look at Hit and Run and look at Stick of Truth, because these guys are doing it right, or these guys did it right. And there's the sequel to this game coming out soon called Fractured But Whole, and it's going to take place in the Coon and Friends era, or at least it's going to have to do with Coon and Friends, which I cannot wait. It's going to be freaking awesome to play through that game. I'm going to buy it too. I may even pre-order it. Like that's how hyped I am. And this is coming from somebody who is not a diehard South Park fan. This is coming from somebody who really enjoyed the Stick of Truth game, and I can't wait for the sequel. I can't wait to pick my own superhero and stuff. One thing that again, I hope they expand on the creation of your character. The inventory system gets a little confusing, but you can get used to it. I did like the variety of armor and stuff that you can get, plus the weapon patches and stuff. I really, really did enjoy the weapon strap-ons and equipment patches. That's what they were. I did like the idea that adding your own buffs to your weapons and armor, that was really cool. That added to the immersion, that added to the gameplay as a whole, because you could do like 5 times bleeding and 100 times perfect attack or something along those lines. It was really enjoyable for me, just being able to just pick and choose your character's abilities. That was great. But yeah, like I was trying to say before I completely jumped onto something else, I really hope they expand on the character creation, because that's something that was very lacking. Like, I want more options for clothing, more options for just characteristics, I guess. Maybe even a voice pack for the character. And hey, multiple genders. South Park, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, you got this. Okay, Fractured But Whole. Let us play as the ladies. Be superheroines, not heroines. Shout out to Epic Lloyd. He don't care. Overall, though, I really enjoyed South Park: The Stick of Truth. And if you're a fan of the South Park series, you owe it to yourself to play this. And even if you're not a fan of the South Park series, let's say you just like Western RPGs, this is a really, really fun game. And it has hints of like Paper Mario, like I was saying. I wish my screen would not blank out like that. Sorry, my screen just went blank. But yeah, if you're a fan of the series, you like Western RPGs, this is a pretty good game, and it's pretty faithful to the style of South Park. It doesn't feel like a cookie cutter type of TV game like those SpongeBob games and the Family Guy games. Occasionally the Jimmy Neutron games. I did like the Jimmy Neutron game for the Game Boy Advance, admittedly. But yeah, this was just a fun experience. I gotta say, this is probably one of the best TV show based games I've played. Well, no, I like Dragon Ball Z Budokai more, but this really did stay faithful to South Park, and it really did feel like an episode of South Park. That's probably due to the fact that Matt Stone and Trey Parker were right up the butt of the developers. Like, they poked their heads through the butt, and they were just like, this looks interesting. Hey, could you do this and that? That's pretty much what went on. They were consultants. They knew how to make the perfect South Park game because they knew South Park. They're the creators, obviously. But yeah, I've said this a bunch of times. This is a very immersive game, and I highly recommend you to go out and buy it. Like, I held off on buying it for so long until it went on sale on Steam, and I almost regret not buying it upon day one, because this was a definitive experience for South Park. Well, in short of the episodes.
Get your life together. Play some more arcade games.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble on and 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 on. I tend to do that a lot, and I really am sorry about just like throwing in bits of story there that I should have probably put in earlier and stuff. Again, it was all off the cuff and all based on memory, and I just realized that I forgot about the part where you have to fight the underpants gnome and you end up catching your parents porking it like mad. I mean, like, they were just going hardcore all day, every day, just like sorry. But yeah, like that happened, and then you end up getting squished by your father's nuts. No wonder why the kid is silent. I mean, I'd be silent too. Like, that's traumatizing. I would need therapy and just sit on the chair for like hours saying nothing. Just be like, like, just all like making like sad and scared noises for my life. But I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble as much as I did rambling. If you did, leave a thumbs up. That helps out a lot. And if you want to listen to more of my rambling, please hit that subscribe button. Anyways, thank you for taking the trip down here to the dungeon. Before you leave, why don't you check out some of those social media links and also the links of the lovelies that support me as a human being. And, you know, like always, thank you for taking the trip down here. Please come again soon. Like, I really, really do mean that. I hope you guys do end up coming back, because, you know, I love you guys. I do. I got lots of love for you. I want you guys to come back. And I want to feel you from the inside. I want to fuck you like an animal. My whole existence is fried. That's saying it, by the way.